Ginger. In the last video, I told you about my arrival to Korea, and as promised, this time I'm going to talk to you about the quarantine experience that followed. Depending on your purpose of stay, it might have been a slightly different experience, so I'm going to talk to you about my experience, but I also made some research to tell you about other experiences other people have, so you can have a taste of all variety of experiences. I think the period the quarantine has been implemented in Korea goes back in maybe February 2020. I'm not sure about this information, but I think coronavirus has begun in Korea about beginning of February, end of January. I'm gonna search it out. And at the beginning, I remember when I read about this information that all travelers had to pay an amount of 1,400,000 won for the stay on quarantine, so 14 days, 100,000 for each day, which equals about 1,000 euros, so it's quite a lot. By the way, update on my last video, I told you that every student visa has been suspended. Actually, it's just a case from France and some other countries, but there might be more countries added to that list in the future. I remember at the beginning that Koreans did not have to pay the fee. They could just stay at home as long as they were separated from their family members, and the government would even send them a whole package of food and sanitary items, which was quite convenient. I actually remember by March when I visited Korea, quarantine was not mandatory for tourists that were staying less than 14 days, so less than the quarantine length. The quarantine was mandatory only for long-term visitors, so a student visa or working visa, for example. So ever since the borders closed, every foreigner visiting with a visa, because since the borders were closed, only certain types of visa could enter the country, these persons were assigned to a specific place designated by the government, and that was part of the 1,400,000 won you were paying. So they would provide you with a accommodation, with food, with sanitary items. Actually, even if you're a foreigner and you had a place you were living in Korea, like you were staying for a longer time, you just visited your country for a short while and you came back and you have an apartment or you have a house or you're living with someone, you could go to that place. You just had to inform the government that you're here and prove that you're staying in a very separate room if you're living with someone. And some staff of the government or police officers could come and visit your place to check that you're following the rules, that you're properly isolated without any short notice. Just surprise, we're here, we're checking, which is good, I think. Or they would call you on the phone to check where you are, to ask you if you're fine. So my friend was renting Airbnbs by the time, and he told me that a lot of his customers were actually foreigners coming to Korea and searching for a place to isolate. So people could actually search for their place of quarantine by themselves. So it could be a hotel apartment or it could be a Airbnb. That would be totally possible. There was a lot of these cases. So the Airbnb owner had to make sure that everything is well sanitized, clean everything. There was a whole procedure according to it, which is quite well organized. Again, Korea. So in the case of students, it was really different for everyone. It was depending on the school you were attending. I heard that depending on the school you were going, some school would provide you a room in their dorm. Some could not do this, so they were just checking on you and just call you every day to check you're okay. Some would provide you with food, some would not. And if you were given a room in a dorm, the quarantine fee was way lower, so it was really worth it. So if you're attending a school that would provide you an accommodation, then great. If not, you had to pay the 1,400,000. But for most of cases, I heard that university were not really helping the upcoming students. So it was really case by case. I think I was the luckiest of them all because as a GKS student, the government prepared everything for my arrival, so I had to worry about nothing. I'm really thankful for that. So first of all, as you've seen in my last video, the person in charge of me went to pick me up at the train station to bring me to my quarantine place so I didn't have to worry about it. Usually people go from the airport by taxi to their Airbnb, or they have to take the prepared transportation, as I've shown you in the last video. There are some specialized taxi to bring you to your place, so they're prepared for that. So as soon as I arrived in my apartment, that was it. I was like, you enter, now you're gonna see no one for 14 days. I'm gonna show you how my first seconds in my new apartment looked like.
4-room flat.
for myself. Hey! This is all my supplies for these 14 days. My tonight's dinner and tomorrow's breakfast. The bathroom. My wet hair because it's rainy outside. And a separate shower, which is not current in Korea. Wow. And then first room, 2 beds. And second room, 2 beds. My bed. And finally, the view. Yeah, mostly. There's like way more furniture that I need. Quite big as for Korea. I'm good. I have some papers to fill in. I filled in so many papers ever since I entered the country, but I guess that's something you have to do when you want to be safe. And it's 24 degrees inside. Yay! I'm feeling great. So I've been provided a room in my dorm, which was really, really convenient. And there were all the necessary products and appliances I needed for my 14 quarantine days. Sanitary items like thermometer, sanitizer, wipes. I'm gonna show you a list here, or a picture. Even a whole sanitary garment for outings to the Corona testing center. Right after I moved in, a few hours later, I was delivered my first meals actually, my dinner and the following day breakfast, and the following day at lunchtime, so at noon I would get delivered my lunch, and that would be the same every day. The following day, upon my arrival in my apartment, I had to get tested for Corona as soon as possible when we begin the quarantine. So I've put on my whole new beautiful garments and I went out for the first time. Oh, by the way, remember I was there for the rain season, so the weather was perfect. Perfectly humid and hot. Garment, goggles, mask, everything was included. I will quickly show you how the testing process looks like. It was really quick. They just take a sample in your throat, I say, and in your nose. I remember when I was in France, when I got tested for Corona for my visa, they inserted the cotton stick like into both of my nostrils, like twice. But here in Korea, they just do it once. So thank you, Korea, for that, really. Because it's really, really not comfortable. You don't want to do it. I mean, you have to do it. But, like, you want to avoid it as much as possible. Of course, the Corona test is taken in charge, so you're not supposed to pay for it. Before going on quarantine, you might be wondering, what do you want to bring with you for the quarantine? There's probably something you will need on a daily basis that you cannot get delivered or something, and I couldn't really think of something special, so the only thing I thought about at that moment was to bring tea with me, but I didn't think about something really, really, really important. Sweets. I don't know if it's a Korean thing because Koreans do not eat that much sweet. I mean, am I sure about what I'm saying? I mean, people here, they do not really like desserts in general, especially men, but like, I'm sweet tooth. I cannot live without sugar, okay? So if you ever go on quarantine and you're not sure to receive any dessert or treats, bring some treats with you. Luckily or unluckily, I got my birthday during my quarantine. So for that special day, I got delivered a birthday cake. And that was my happiest day of my quarantine. Thank you, Sam. Oh, so there is one question that a lot of people ask me during my quarantine, and it is, are we bored in quarantine? No. Who said that? I am actually so glad I've been cut off of the world for some while. People who know me know that I'm living a crazy, busy life and I don't know how to rest. So it's been the first time in my life that I've been stuck in a place for 14 days, like in prison, and it was just like, now you have to rest. You have no other choice. I couldn't be stressed about not being productive or something because I couldn't go out anyways. I finally found the time to do all the work that I'm always postponing in my life, and I think that everybody has the same problem. For example, ordering your pictures on your phone or ordering all of your albums on your computer. This is my to-do list for my quarantine. It's quite long. And you can take advantage of that period to try to learn something new, something you've always wanted to learn but never had the time to do. Or you can use that time to learn a new language or improve a language you're already learning. You can as well do your accounting. To be honest, I don't really think that my quarantine was a waste of time. It was actually very enjoyable, at least from my point of view. I think the only hard thing is to really be isolated in one place, not being able to see people, so you kind of miss that fresh air. So I think it was overall a okay experience. So yeah, it was a quite short video. I hope it was still interesting for you to see how the quarantine looks like in Korea. Of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll be uploading more videos about traveling in Korea or more language learning materials. So if you're interested, keep updated, subscribe to my channel if you want to support me, and we're gonna see each other in the following video.